Live. Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again. Welcome to another live commentary. It's been a couple of days since my last one. This is of a black and white movie, my first black and white movie I'm doing a podcast for on my channel, my new channel, and that is the 1950s movie. I think, is it 1958 or something like that? Oh, well, it's from the 50s. The 1953 Universal movie, a black and white classic. It Came from Outer Space. Look at that cool cover. It's an awesome box art. This movie's available on streaming. It's one of those black and white films the Gen Z guys don't know about. I watched these all the time when I was a kid. That's the insert, and this is the back to show you a thing, because the movie's only about an hour and 20 minutes. So it's got a good cast in it. You got Barbara Rush, Charles Drake, Richard Carlson, Russell Bronson from Gilligan's Island, Kathleen Hughes, and Joe Sawyer, directed by Jack Arnold. So let's get this done. Put the volume a little bit lower so I can, it won't blow out my eardrums. Now, I first saw this movie a couple years ago. I didn't see this one as a kid, but I saw movies like, Earth vs. the Flying Saucer and The Giant Behemoth, and what other movies? The original War of the Worlds. The original It Came from Outer Space. I saw the original what was it called? The Day the Earth Stood Still. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those when I was a kid. There's Universal International. Yeah. The chat's open, so you guys can feel free to join me. Keep that away. I don't want to end the stream after a minute. There's the comment. It's a sci-fi horror movie. There's a cool title. I thought there were some pictures, photos that I got to see. I got a photo gallery. I took some pictures and put them on Facebook years ago. That's how bored I was. I would just do anything to get through this pandemic. It's been long and tedious. And I had to get vaccinated 3 times, so. Here's a narration. Mm-hmm. Yep, the future. We don't know what the future will hold. Barbara Rush, you beautiful creature. I just saw her in another movie last week. She's still alive, 95 years old. She's one of the most beautiful actresses of the 50s. That curly hair of hers. Let me eat my orange. Where is it? No yelling this time. I want to be calm because it's been a long, long week. At least today, this week, I don't have to deal with anybody doing construction outside my house, so that's good. Yeah. And it's a heterosexual couple, which is what I dig. Even in the 50s, yeah. That hasn't changed. That's still a way of life that people just don't understand now for some reason. But companionship and courtship is still alive and well, so I can at least sleep well knowing that it's still alive. I'm a Capricorn. Even though I don't believe in the stars, I just look at them. That's it. I don't believe in astrology. Doesn't tell my future. I know who I am. This is the first 5 minutes, by the way. I wish I might too. That's why I keep my physical media, because you never know if an actor will show up to a convention and they'll sign this and it's worth a fortune. One signature can make all the difference, guys. It can. Rachel Cook was one of the most delightful women I've ever met, and I've met several of them now since 2019. Olivia Wilde, Amy Jo Johnson, and her, and I'm like, she's absolutely adorable. And I want to see her again, hopefully next year at Comic-Con or at any convention, really. And I met her because, Felicia Day was canceled at Comic-Con. So I said, who's the other woman that I want to meet? Okay, Rachel. She was there Friday and Saturday, and I had to meet her. Her line was really short, too. I was surprised how short it was, because Amy Jo Johnson's line was from the table all the way to like the end, like halfway through the queue hall. I'm like, oh my God. So many of these men that want to meet her, of course, because they grew up watching her when they were kids like me. And it meant the world to me, because I still got the picture to prove how much I love her. Yeah, this movie, I didn't see it as a kid. I would have loved it as a kid, because I'm a sci-fi nerd. That's who I am. Well, if you take a look at my room, a lot of sci-fi, Star Wars movies, Jurassic Park. Yeah, that's science fiction in a way. So that's what I am. I never got a Star Trek poster, though, not even as a kid. I had a Tron Legacy poster, but I got rid of it because it was old and it was ripped. So a spaceship looks amazing for 1953. So this movie is going to be, I think, 60 years old next year, or 70. Yeah, 70. 69 years old right now. And yeah, it still holds up really well. It's not scary per se. Even back in 1953, the scariest thing people were, afraid of at that time was the nuclear bomb. Yeah. Look at that eye. That eye is creepy, though. They show the aliens early. You don't have to wait an hour to see it because the movie's short. So it's a good look. It's a good design. It's something original. And this movie, thankfully, has never been remade. You don't need to remake it. I don't need to see CGI aliens. Seen it already. Avatar, the Star Wars prequels, Skyne, and the sequel, Battle Los Angeles, Battleship. We've seen a lot of CGI aliens. It's a really good design, and this movie looks fantastic. Like, it's a black and white movie, but if I would recommend this movie, I say millennials and Gen Z watch this on the streaming service because it's available. I think it's on HBO Max or something. Let me check. The chat's dead, so right now, so I guess people are in school right now. That's why. There's the animals. It came from outer space. It's on Peacock, so if you have Peacock Premium, you can watch it. It's on YouTube. You can rent it. Redbox, Amazon Prime, Vudu, and Google Play. So, but you can watch it for free. Watch this movie. So I don't have Peacock Premium. I just have the regular Peacock. I'm keeping the DVD. This is also on Blu-ray in 3D, so it's available. It's not like one of those movies that you never find again. It is a classic. Got to do more black and white movies in 2023. No, get out of here. Seriously, what's with these users that are fake, trying to put spam on my freaking Facebook? I mean, they spam my Facebook and my YouTube channel. Leave me alone, girls 18 online. You're a troll. I'm waiting for my friends to show up. I already sent them a message on Facebook, so the only thing I'm going to yell at is trolls because I don't want them on this channel. I've been through enough already this year. I haven't seen this in the theater, so maybe next year they'll release it in the theater at the Film Forum or the Alamo Drafthouse. They re-release old black and white movies too. They're re-releasing the original Godzilla. The thing is, I've seen the original Godzilla in the theater, so I don't need to see it again in the theater. I could see one of the other ones. I've seen the original Godzilla, the 2014 movie, King of the Monsters, and well, I haven't seen the 98 remake, but in the theater. I'll just use this. It's a scarf, but I can wipe my hands with it. I don't really use scarves anymore because I have a COVID mask. I don't wrap a scarf around my neck. I just put a mask on, my hat, when it snows especially, because it keeps my cheeks warm. That's the good thing about wearing a COVID mask in the winter time. In the summer, it's a murder, but in the winter, it helps me. It's helped me for the past 2 years. But even when COVID is over, I'll still wear a mask during the winter because it helps keep my cheeks warm. Excuse me. Hold on. I'll be right back. I don't have to pause it. I'm just... Oh, that's on my ass here. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the movie. There's the alien. He's looking right at him. It's like a screen. It's good effects for 1953. People keep forgetting that this movie was made almost 70 years ago. So pretty much everything you see was made practically. There's no computer generated images in this movie or in any of the films in the 50s because there were no computers. The computers didn't become a thing in public until like the 60s or the 70s, and it was just a home computer. It was not like there were no laptops at the time or iPhones or tablets or any of that. No, you guys don't know how easy you got it. A little kid now can use a tablet and they're like 5 and they can barely read, Yet back in the 50s, the TV was like revolutionary. It's like, oh my God, a box where I can see shows at home and I have to go to the theater? That's amazing. Yeah, nowadays it's called streaming. Weird, right? The more things change, the more they stay the same. And back in the 50s, there were only a couple of shows out around that time. The Honeymooners, the I Love Lucy. Yeah, there weren't like thousands of shows that you could stream at your fingertips like they do now. That scarf, I'm going to keep it. I'll probably wear it for like Christmas or, for Thanksgiving or something, just to be festive. Or I could make a snowman and put it around his neck. Yeah. Mm-hmm. An alien. Mm-hmm. They did a lot of these movies in the 50s because people were obsessed with the nuclear age of, and the sci-fi movies were big business in the 50s. Hey, Little Sims, you just made it. We're 14 minutes in, so at least it's good to see a familiar face and not spam, because that girl's 18 is a spam. Don't talk to that person. I'm doing it coming from outer space. You never heard of this, but it's available to stream, so if you want to see it. It's black and white, so... I haven't seen a black and white movie in a while. I'm mostly seeing color movies of color, even for this Halloween. It's mostly been, old color monster movies or a slasher film or like a supernatural movie like It Follows and Relic. Conga was terrible. That was a movie in color. It was a terrible ripoff of King Kong, and it was horrible. Even the ending was downbeat for no reason. This movie does not have a downbeat ending. Martians. So he's shaking. Mm-hmm. Don't attack them right away because, yeah. Oh, bro, so beautiful. And a good actress, too, because I've seen her in several movies. I'm like, she was a star to me, definitely. She still is. And the movie's nice and short because what do you hate about woke things? I don't want to talk about it, Little Sims. That word should be banned from every podcast and every YouTube channel video because people just misinterpret it. They consider bad writing woke. No, it's when they're preaching, and I'm sick of that. Disney's been doing it all year. Mm-hmm. Yep, we know. It's in the title. And again, an alien, an extraterrestrial. And this was decades before E.T. and Independence Day and all that. And it's crazy. A sci-fi movie about alien blue cats is the biggest movie in the world. I don't get it. I get the appeal of the genre, but those movies, I don't know why Avatar 2 is going to come out this year. I don't care, guys. Don't tell me to review it. I'm not streaming it next year. I don't care. Just first one was already painful enough, and it's not even on Disney Plus anymore. They took it out because reasons. I got to see a black and white movie in the theater like this back in February. I saw the Beast on 20,000 Fathoms at the end of February. It was in the film form in Manhattan, and great crowd. It wasn't completely full, but they clapped. Hell, somebody clapped for the opening credits. Nobody does that anymore. I don't think somebody's clapped in the opening credits since Captain Marvel when they said, "Thank you, Stan Lee," and they were clapping. But yeah, they clapped for the technical effects. Ray Harryhausen, again, people love his. He was a film legend just for the effects that he did. He was also a voice actor, and he did some cameos in some films as well. So he was a master at that stop motion animation, which, by the way, looks still better than CGI because it was actually done with hands, not with computers. Most stop motion looks way better than CG because it doesn't look fake or like a video game. It looked like it was actually there. These people were interacting with it on screen. This movie doesn't have stop motion because Harryhausen was doing Earth versus the Flying Saucers, so, and the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. It came like a year before this, so. There it is. The eye right in their face. That eye is iconic. It looks like Pac-Man's eye. The creatures don't look like this. That it doesn't look like a squid monster on some other movie. But it's a cool looking poster. I really love that poster. That's why I'm keeping the DVD because it might get signed at a convention. I mean, most of these actors are dead except for Barbara Rush, but you never know. You never know. Maybe they have children that could sign this in their family's honor. I would love that because I love black and white movies. I've been watching them since I was a kid. King Kong, the original Godzilla. Uh, what else? Son of Kong. Well, I saw that as an adult. Mighty Joe Young. That was originally black and white. I saw the colorized version. Oh, not really. That's the male lady. Now my dog is gonna start barking because she hates hearing voices outside. What other black and white movies? Like I was saying, uh, the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I saw that one, the original. I saw the original. I saw a lot of these films that you probably have never heard of. It's just a tree. You're screaming because of a palm tree, a Joshua tree. That's funny. You screamed at a tree. The tree's not alive. No, there's no killer plants in this movie. That's another film. Like I said, that's in The Land Unknown and a bunch of other films too. But this one is just aliens. At least I won't be as tired today because I did the laundry yesterday. Thankfully, the weather's bad, so I'm staying home. You've been seeing my StreamYard comments. Uh, no, I just read your comments on my video a few days ago. You didn't comment on Black Adam, but I guess you haven't seen it yet. I did in the theater because I like seeing superhero movies in the theater mostly. I got one more, and that's Wakanda Forever next in about 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie, like, it still holds up really well. Like, it doesn't look like there's nothing dated in it except some of the dialogue. Because again, 50s movie, not 2020s, but it's not cringe. There's no race jokes in this. There's no sex jokes. There's none of that. That's not necessary. And they don't force comedy down your face like some other movies did this year. I did subscribe to your channel, Little Sims. It's just that I've been busy. I've been, doing a lot of housework, and I haven't been doing podcasts because, again, my house is being renovated, so I couldn't do anything. I was not on my computers as much. I went out a lot last week too. I got my flu shot. That's already going to kick in next week, and I had to go out. This week I'm mostly going to stay in because it's raining. So you have time to leave a comment on my videos that I've done already. Yeah, me too. I am subscribed to you, Little Sims, because I saw some of your videos there. It's just that I haven't had time. I wanted to. It's just that, when people are renovating the home outside of it too, it's time consuming. But this week I have time. Yeah, this guy looks like a discount Tony Curtis. Yeah, it's weird. You guys won't know who that is, but look him up. He was a big actor back in the day in the 20th century. Science. Yeah, like the little girl from Loud House, the woman with the glasses. It's all about science. Are you going to see Halloween Ends? No, not even going to try. No Michael Myers, no deal. I'd rather see Halloween 3 because at least it's not Michael Myers because it's a different story. There's no Jamie Lee Curtis in that either. Technically, in that movie, she only does a voiceover, but that's it. It's its own standalone story. That's nothing has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's set in the same universe. It's just not without Michael Myers. These movies don't sell. Think about it. It's like when they did Friday the 13th 5. Jason was not in the movie as the killer. It was some ambulance driver killing him. Like the kills were good, but it's weak because of that. When had they done an Elm Street movie without Freddy? That would not make any sense, would it? All of them, even the god awful remake has them in it. All of them, the Elm Street sequels, the original, the remake, Freddy versus Jason. Yeah, you got to give people what they want. Don't sell them something they don't want ask for. Halloween Ends is basically, you thought Michael Myers was in this movie? No, he's going to be a cameo at the end of the film. The rest of the movie is about some random killer that nobody cares about. Yeah, because that's what people wanted to see. This is the Rise of Skywalker of this trilogy. It is basically that, because the first one, the 2018 movie, was just nostalgia. The second one was The Last Jedi, Halloween Ends, Kills, and then you have this one. Don't give people what they didn't ask for. Say what you will about H2O or Halloween Resurrection. They were different, and Michael Myers was there. That's like saying they came from outer space and these aliens are from Canada. No, we won't give us what we asked for. Don't lie in title. I hate that. I hate when a movie lies. Mad Max Fury Road. It's not about Mad Max. It's about Furiosa. They're setting her up. They're going to do a prequel, and it's just called Furiosa. There is no Mad Max in it. That's how you do it. Don't lie to me. Fury Road. It's not even his movie. Are the actors in this movie still alive? A couple of them are. Like one, mainly the main girl is. Barbara Rush is 95 years old now. Mm-hmm. Richard Carlson died years ago, and Russell Johnson, he just passed away a few years ago too. Give the fans what they want. Endgame gave us what we wanted. They had the Avengers getting together so they, to get all the stones before that Thanos does, and they battle him at the end. They did not lie to us. I hate when a movie lies. Lying is one of the biggest sins that people do that I can't freaking stand, because you're just putting on a face, We all lie sometimes, but doing it excessively, like Disney did this year, no. With their freaking remakes or their animated films that lie to people. This is family friendly. Yeah, they talk about period blood and gay rights. Yeah, kiss my ass, Disney. You're not going to do that next year. You got to stop. You're supposed to be family friendly. He's mad. There's the tree again. Yeah, just get ramped up because people want me to see a movie that doesn't even have my. I mean, granted, they did that, try to do something different when they did Jason Goes to Hell, but at least he's in the beginning of the movie. And then he's just like his essence is in someone else. Hey, John, looking forward to your commentary on Maximum Risk and Double Team and, well, whatever else I'm doing. Yeah, I want to do some Van Damme films since last year, since Universal Soldier The Return. And he's long overdue to do one. Because I'm trying to do movies that, I haven't done podcasts for. Did you see my second movie? No, I'm going to watch it later this week. No, that's another movie. It's Alive is a movie from the 70s. And then they did a couple of sequels and a remake. Yeah, the sun does get me every summer. The summer that sun is just banging me right in the face. It makes me melt, and it gives me a tan. But I always use sunscreen because I don't want to get skin cancer. The sun it is a star, guys, and you cannot mess with a star. It's hot. That's why the stars in space are miles away. Because if we stood on a star, we would die because it would be too hot. You gorgeous female. Mm. Van Damme turned 62 recently. Yeah, that's another reason I want to do it for a belated birthday because I couldn't do it for October because he didn't really do a lot of horror like these other action stars have, like Seagal and Stallone and Arnold. They've done at least one horror movie. Hmm. Johnson. This is what he did before Gilligan's Island, about 10 years before, because Gilligan's Island was in the 60s. He did a lot of B movies. He did this, and then he did Attack of the Crab Monsters. On your old channel in your Toy Story 3 review, you said whoever wrote Buzz Lightyear Spanish should be slapped in the face. Yeah, because it was not needed. That was for a joke. That was a joke, guys. I don't take it serious. That was years ago when I reviewed it, and I'm like, it was not needed. It was just really forced. It's like, oh, let's try to mess up Buzz and just give him a Spanish voice that sounds nothing like Tim Allen, and it came out of nowhere. Like it was in the trailer, but I'm like, it was stupid. If it was 2 minutes, I could have handled it. But for the half the end, no, it took me out of the movie. It was just to set up the "You Got a Friend of Me" in Spanish at the end of the movie, where Jesse and Buzz are dancing. It was a cute dance, but I thought that it didn't need that. It was just really, really forced. Not everything Pixar does is amazing because I saw Turning Red and I was disappointed. Death Warrant kind of has a bit of horror vibe, mainly because of the Sandman and the opening credits. Yeah, but it's not like a horror movie. Like Cobra's kind of like horror action film, and Predator for Arnold, but it doesn't have like a creature in it or something. Van Damme's, I don't think they've ever done that. He was supposed to be in Predator, but he backed out. He was going to be the creature, but but he went on to do Bloodborne instead and Kickboxer. Dolph Lundgren also did a horror movie as well, I think in the 90s. Comes and goes. That was kind of mean. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just that sometimes I say things I don't mean, or sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not in a bad mood. I'm not in a bad mood today. In a much better mood than I was last week. And yes, old school black and white horror movies count for this month. So I don't have to review it because I reviewed this movie years ago. And I need this issue. Where's my book bag at? Is it over here? Yeah. Yeah, well, here we go. There's the music. Yeah, I think I got some tissue in here or napkin or something. There's the eye. Yeah. I Come in Peace was, yeah, that was kind of like a horror film in a way. A sci-fi horror movie. Yeah, I'm just gonna stare at it, not run away, just stare. I gotcha. That's why you should stare at something. You should stare at it from a distance and run, like Tom Cruise. He runs in almost every movie. Then, even in The Mummy, that was terrible. Yeah, I Come in Peace is also known as, I think it's called Dark Angel or something like that. Yeah, but that's similar to that show that Jessica Alba did in the 2000s. So they just you know, that's what the Blu-ray's called. The original movie was called I Come in Peace when it was on VHS and on Laserdisc and in the theater. Yeah, I did see it, but it was years ago. Yeah, I like when an action star does something different. When they do something horror related or sci-fi or even a musical sometimes. I miss the old Disney when they were just doing things for kids, not and some things for adults, but not like pandering. Footprints. We're 36 minutes in, so we're about a third of the way through. When I was younger, I didn't know Disney and Nickelodeon revivals, but until you told me. But how do you know they were? Because they steal each other's ideas. Disney has Mickey Mouse, Nickelodeon has SpongeBob. Disney does a show about superheroes, Nickelodeon does a show about superheroes. It's the same thing, just decades. But Nick has been doing it better this year because they don't pander. Uh, The alien took him over. I prefer the title "I Come in Peace." Dark Angel doesn't really make sense because there are no Dark Angels. Matthias Hughes says "I Come in Peace" a couple of times. Yeah, I get it, but it's just so many movies have different titles. Mm. Yeah, but it can burn you. Mm. Yeah, and I had to see a movie shorter than The Fly 2 because The Fly 2 was like an hour and 40 minutes. This is like 20 minutes shorter. Action movies coming out in 1999 has four different titles. Yeah, it does. Nickelodeon makes a show Victorious. Disney rips it up, Shake It Up. Well, Shake It Up is different, but Nickelodeon even ripped themselves off when they did How to Rock, and I'm like, yeah, that was just dire Victorious. See, there's a copy. They made a copy of themselves, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Professor Roy from uh, um, Thoughts on Stop or Mama Shoot? I think it's underrated. It's not horrible. I don't think it's horrible. Stallone says it's the worst thing he's done. The man did freaking Rocky 5, which I still like, but he hated that one too. And he also did Expendables 3, which I hated with a passion because they wasted the original cast and they had these newbies I didn't care about at all. That was way worse because that movie was PG-13 and it was neutered. And it was a sham compared to the first two Expendables films. Singing shows. They got together like peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, but the thing is, Take It Up only had two girls. Victorious was an ensemble. 40 minutes in. halfway through the movie. It's been a long, long week, and this month was. Your camera looks blurry. What do you mean looks blurry? And your mic sounds weird. Well, it should be fine now. It's just that I just turned this on. I don't look blurry. I look fine. I'm right here. Look. Maybe it's your camera. I don't know. Maybe you're watching this on YouTube and it looks a little fuzzy. It's not out of sync. Sometimes it does that. This computer on YouTube and there's been at least it's not shutting off. I don't think it's as bad as all this. Well, maybe the nightmare scene was not needed. Yeah, where he's in the diaper. That's stupid. Other than that it's funny. I like some of the movie, and while it's dumb, it's got a villain that's a Binto. It's not horrible. I've seen unfunny comedies that Stallone did, like Avenging Angelo was way worse because that movie has farting in it. And it's not funny. A farting dead body. It's not funny. It's horrible. It's one of the stupidest jokes in any movie. Oh no. Is that a coyote or a wolf or a fox? Something like that. It's not a dingo because they're not in Australia. And I don't look fuzzy. It's probably on your end. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That face. I'm glad I started this podcast early. I don't want to do. I was supposed to do it earlier, but I had to look for some things. Alan Silvestri also did the music, and he does a great job with most of the scores that he's done. Uh-oh. There's their copies, yeah. Because they're aliens in human form. Remember we seen that years later in Men in Black? Yeah. Or Men in Black 2. Mm-hmm. Yes, I saw your message, Little Sims. Don't remind me. We're almost done. We're about halfway through the movie, so George McFly? Mm-hmm. Atmosphere. I miss that in sci-fi movies nowadays. Because Moonfall, I didn't even waste my time. I heard it was horrible. And why are these sci-fi movies always over 2 hours long? No, make them shorter. Stop making them almost as long as a novel. Are you going to do a lot of commentary for the sequel? What sequel? The next one is Monster House. Doesn't have a there. Arnold was originally going to be in Stop It Around when he read the script, but he rejected it. That's what I wanted to do it, and the rest is history. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that also. He did Kindergarten Cop instead, which is much funnier. And that movie, I rewatched it. It still holds up. It came from outer space to the squeal. No, it's not real. Yeah, the guy's face is just hilarious. Yeah. The sequel, there is no sequel to this. I already did The Fly 2. That's the last sequel I'm doing for a while. Many, because doing sequels means I have to see the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. It takes too long. I did enough of that this year. I did all the Sharknado sequels, the original Star Wars trilogy. I did the Blade sequels. I'm doing the first Captain America movie in November, but that's it. I did Winter Soldier already on channel, and Civil War. I did it with my friends years ago. Obviously, Kindergarten Cop is better than Twins. Is slightly better too. Those movies are fun. Yeah, Twins is hard to watch now because uh, what's Kelly just passed away a few years ago, and it's sad. There was a sequel to this in 1986. It's rated PG-13, but I'm not gonna do it. I haven't seen it, and I don't. And it has none of the actors, so whatever. Even if there is a sequel, I'm not doing it. If I've never heard of it, I'm not gonna do it. The Killer Shrews got a sequel, but it's completely different from the original. Yeah, people had the radio back then. How come there wasn't Cloudy with Santa Meatballs 3? Because Lord and Miller had to do Solo, and then they got fired. And then went on to do Into the Spider-Verse. They produced that. So those two, because they started with the Lego movie. Great movie. Cloudy with Santa 2, they're cute for kids. They did the 21 Jump Street films. Why is he wearing a spacesuit? It's funny how the kid actor in this movie, but like halfway through the movie, I thought it was Halloween. That's what next Monday is. I don't think I'm going to do a podcast, but I might do one, but I don't know. There's more women in the movie. Yeah, there's Alon. That's cameo. That looks like she looks like Marilyn Monroe. And no, I haven't seen Blonde because I don't. I want to sleep tonight. How come there was an Amazing Spider-Man 3? Because again, Sony had to pull the plug after the second one. You hear Daniel Harris and Scott Taylor come and met Jamie Lee Curtis recently, but how it was a massive letdown? Yeah, because again, they're not even in the freaking movie. They actually did Halloween movies that had Michael Myers in it, even though they were bad. He was in it. This is the first time that they fooled the audience. All you think is going to end? Yeah. You're going to see Michael at the end, and you're going to have a substitute Michael. Why? He asked for. It's like doing Frozen 3 and Elsa's in the first 5 minutes and we don't see her again. Don't false advertise. That's bad. It's a bad idea to false advertise people, giving them something that they asked for that they didn't ask for, and disguising it as something that you wanted, you thought you were giving them. Yeah, don't do that. Hmm. That's why when they did the Halloween Ends panel at Comic Con, I'm like, this is bullshit. I don't care, guys. We know this is going to end badly, and it did. It made money, but we're not going to see Michael Myers again for like 5 or 10 years, and it won't be the same actor from the original. What I meant was Jamie Lee Curtis was not that nice to them again because she's just tired of talking about Halloween. She's done it since 1978. She's done other films, people. Trading Places, Terror Train, freaking, what else? She did a Fish Called Wanda. They've done a lot. She's done a lot better films just besides Halloween. She's been typecast as the Scream Queen, and she's done other films. Even in Freaky Friday, she was good. The 2003 remake. She's not just a Halloween girl. I don't understand that. It's like saying Lindsay Lohan is just Mean Girls chick. No, she's done other stuff too. Besides that, and The Parent Trap. Why do people like to just they see a person as only one thing and that's it? I'm like, no, Brie Larson's more than just Captain Marvel to me. She's also was the girl in 21 Jump Street, and her performance in Room was fantastic. There was going to be a Ninja Turtles 4, The Foot Walks Again, but it was canceled because 3 was so horrible. Mm-hmm. We're almost done. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's not a long movie. Like Independence Day was way longer than this. It was over 2 hours, and there's things that could have been cut from it. Even the theatrical cut is long. Sometimes a movie needs to get to the point in 90 minutes or less, or maybe 2 hours at the most. Once it passes over 2 hours, I'm like, yeah, I get a little antsy. Because with when Endgame I could handle it. It was ending a trilogy. It was ending a quadrilogy, so you had to go for broke. But not every movie needs to be that long. Multiverse is nice and short. It wasn't over 2 hours long. It could have been. It was supposed to be like 2 hours and 20 minutes, but you could tell there was things cut for the third movie and for more Disney Plus shows. Hmm. Oh, Barbara. Yeah, Barbara's Ellen Fields. Yeah, Ellen. The only sequels I'll do in November or December is sequels that are like the last one in a trilogy or something like Avengers Endgame or something like that. But I'm not gonna do like a whole franchise in 1 month. I can't. It's too much. Elf. I'm just doing that one. I did Home Alone 1 and 2 already. That's done. I'm not doing 3, 4, or 5. No, I don't own 3 and 4 and 5. I could watch on Disney Plus this year. Holt. At least this makes sense in this movie. It's not this whatever the hell this was in Jurassic World. I'm not gonna miss that at all. Even in Dominion, it was stupid. They do this, and it's like they're using the force on the dinosaurs. That's so stupid. I'm like, but that movie made me laugh, but not because I'm like, yeah, Universal for that. That's stupid. This is not the force. You don't have the force. Disney has the force. Well, Fox had the force anyway. But that scene where the raptor's spinning around like a hamster in a hamster wheel, that was funny. It was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was laughing my ass off. That in the chase scene in Morocco or whatever, that was hilarious. Don't worry, she doesn't die. She just gets abducted. Jess Pinkman will be turning 64 in November. Good for him. Dolph will be 65. Yeah, November 3rd. That's a birthday. I won't forget next week because it's Heather Stevens' birthday. I'm going to be posting beautiful pictures of her on Facebook. How come you're doing Home Alone 3, 4, or 5 or the remake? Because they're not Home Alone movies. They're Home Alone in name only. That's it. I'm not a fan of 3. I'm not a fan of 4. I like 5 as a standalone film, and I'm not seeing the remake. I hated the trailer, and it's a British version, and it's not funny. So I did the first 2. That's all that matters. When it went, yep. Mm-hmm. They got, of course, they got Ellen. She's the female, and she could procreate more aliens if they get into her anatomy. This is a good podcast. It's nice and calm. It's a short movie, and we're having a normal conversation. Hmm. It's a shame Jess Pinkman did not make it big, easily the most underrated. Yeah, because his first movie was a bomb. The Perfect Weapon should have been a huge hit in '91, but Terminator 2 was the biggest thing in the world at that time. All time, next to Thomas Evan Griffith, Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee was because an untimely death, so there was nothing wrong with that. I mean, there was nothing wrong with his career was going places. It was going to make him a huge star, and then look what happened. And Mark DeCosta, yeah, he's still acting. What always get mad when I talk about Stiletto live stream because it happened months. Little Sims, it's in the past. Stop living in the past. Live for the present, not for the past. Yeah, he just stares at him blindly, like you can't have this. Wait, I want to procreate with you. Why do you think a female is in these movies most of the time? They're the trophy. They're the trophy at the end of the race in a way. As an allegory, as a in a at a. Mm-hmm. What's the worst character of this movie? I don't really know because there's not really a lot of characters in this film. I can't say the aliens because they have a cool design. Um, I don't really know. You saw the underground, like an invasion of the body snatchers. What are you doing? Hmm. Are there any Bintos? No, there's nobody British in this movie. Hmm. Brian Bossert is another one, yeah, because Stone Cold was supposed to be his big break, but sadly flopped. Yet it's a really awesome movie. Have you seen Double Toaster review on it from I think it was from last year? It's hilarious. Like it was either last year or at the end of near the end of 2020. It was so fun because it's not every movie needs to be a franchise. Bullseye audiences will watch it. Avatar, I guarantee you, by the time we get to 3, people are going to get tired of 3 hours of CGI cats. I was already tired in the first movie. We're an hour in. We know. Can you tone it down by saying spin toes is getting old? I've been saying that for a while because it's a word I created. In the UK, it's called bint, but I added an O to it, so now it's my word. Here comes the eye. Stone Cold is a fun movie, yet over the top with insane action scenes. Even the motorbike hits this helicopter in the midair. Yeah, they did that same kind of scene in Live Free or Die Hard, where the car goes through the helicopter. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's a cool looking alien. It's a giant eye. Yeah, there was no CGI in Stone Cold or this movie as well. Hmm. I wish there was a sequel to Monster House. There isn't one, so that has to be a standalone. Not everything needs a sequel because sometimes you give them a sequel and then it sucks. But it's my favorite animated Halloween movie. I'm going to see it tomorrow. I miss when action scenes were done all practically, even though I don't CG. It looks better than in the '90s. Yeah, because it's actually there. When it's just CGI cats with spaceships and all that, it looks like a video game cutscene. It takes me out of it, and I don't think it's real. In the Marvel or DC movies, I can suspend my disbelief because it's sci-fi and fantasy and action. It's not meant to be taken. It's not supposed to be realistic, but at least those look better. They have hand-to-hand combat, people actually there. With the Avatar, everything looks like a video game. CGI water creatures and CGI water and CGI mountains. It's all fake. It looks fake. That's why people are like, well, you're not going to see Avatar Way of the Water. I know their ways. Cameron has not made a good movie in a long time since True Lies, in my opinion. I haven't seen Titanic, but at least Titanic is not all CG. It's just the boat. The people are real in the movie. They're not CGI because it looks. Yeah, I think the sheriff is probably the worst character because he doesn't listen. Yeah, so they can hide in there because it's a small town. This is not a. This is in Arizona, I believe. Yeah, yeah, it's in Arizona because that's a small state. That state is not as big as New York, and it's big as Texas, so it's easy to hide in that state because it's nothing but mountains and cactus and a bunch of like small towns. Phoenix is probably the biggest city there in Arizona. Even Total Recall and RoboCop, since they were both directed by Rogan and Practical Bloody Squids, which are easily some of the bloodiest. Yeah, and movies didn't need remakes because they toned them down and they were PG-13 and it ruined them. I saw both the remake of RoboCop and Total Recall, and they're not good. They're not good. They're definitely toned down. Total Recall had potential to be its own thing with some of the ideas they had, like the cell phone in the hand and all that, the way the movie looks. But man, the violence was just toned down. It's Colin Farrell fighting the stormtroopers and Kate Beckinsale as a Terminator. It didn't work. Len Wiseman's done better than that. That's what upsets me because he's a good director. It's not like he's a terrible director. Residue. An hour and 5 minutes. We're almost done. We got about 16 minutes left. And there's no post-credit scene here either. What mistake? Yeah, I know. Yep. I've only seen the first two RoboCop movies, so I'm probably not missing out on three. Three's horrible. I saw that movie when I was a kid, and I hated it. It was so down, and killing off Nancy Allen's character was a mistake. The freaking villain was lame. The PG-13 didn't help. The jetpack was cool, but they put that in the second movie. And yeah, it was just horrible. And the remake was just a bad retread with another PG-13 that didn't help. The suit looked like a Batman suit. It didn't look like RoboCop. It is, yeah. That's why I've been eating a lot of fruit this month, because bananas, potassium lowers your blood pressure. That's why my blood pressure has been much better now compared to last year, and even 2017. It was through the roof. Oof. I was getting dizzy spells. I have to keep myself nourished, but with the right foods. hmm I was out this year when it was like 96, and I felt like my body was melting. I because I sweat profusely in the summertime, but in the fall, not so much. Yeah, the sheriff is probably the worst character in the movie because he just doesn't want to reason. He doesn't want to listen to reason. See, this is an actual fight. They're on screen. There's no sounds to cover that they can't fight. That's another thing I miss in movies. People that actually can fight on screen. Nowadays, they got actors that are not fighters, and they throw them in there in a fight scene that's badly choreographed. Even Disney Plus is also responsible for that because they got people that are not fighters. In Mando, no, you got Gina Carano in the first two seasons can fight, but there's people, and also Sasha Banks can fight as well. Was she that? Yeah, I think so. No, was it Sasha Banks, or I think so. Have you seen Death Wish 5? No, got to see it eventually. I've been so busy, guys. I've been watching a lot of horror, so next month I have more time because even though it's a shorter month, next Sunday we get an hour back, so it's daylight savings times end, so that means we gain an hour on November 6th. Very happy about that because I need extra time to do things. How come there wasn't a RoboCop 4? Did you see the third one? It was horrendous. The TV show was better than the third one. Spider Master, you finally made it. Well, we're in the third act of this movie, so uh, you just barely made it because some people get to the podcast late. I'm like, yeah, Little Sims got here about 15 minutes into the movie, and Salvatore got like about halfway. But you just barely made. But yeah, the movie is almost done, so the chat will be done soon in a couple of minutes. But I'm glad I did this one because I needed a break. I needed a nice short movie a week after we had so much house home improvements. I'll just say it took a lot of our time, me and my family and I. It's a lot of work because we're having visitors next month. Thanksgiving is in a couple of weeks, and Christmas is 2 months around the corner, man. Very, very soon. Halt or shoot. Yep, they're gonna shoot and ask questions later. I couldn't live up in the mountains because I've seen the mountains from upstate New York, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of animals up there that would not be friendly, like a mountain goat or a mountain lion. Yeah, even bears live up in the mountains too. I don't trust the mountains. I don't. I'd rather live near a nature park because the animals are most harmless, except for raccoons. They can attack, but squirrels and bunny rabbits don't attack mostly. I did a lot of podcasts this month compared to last year. Because last year I didn't have a computer. My computer, my HP computer, completely obliterated. It was overheated and it didn't want to turn on. This is on this thing. After 3 hours, I have to let it rest. It's a rule for me because I want it to overheat. Computers get hot after like 3 hours of doing it. There we go. Ellen in a beautiful dress. Mm-hmm. Oh, pit. I know humans usually can't get in these films. Well, she has a laser. A freaking laser. Let me drink some water. I'm entitled to it. I haven't had water in an hour or so. Much better. This is why comedians have to drink water when they're doing stand up. Yeah, they need water because the throat gets dry. That eye still looks amazing from that first person view. Still better than the Halo series that came out this year because they disrespected the source material. Master Chief does not take his helmet off under any circumstances. Yeah, I'm gonna do a double team first, and then a maximum risk mainly because I saw double team first, and it's much crazier. Maximum risk does have Natasha Henstridge, and that's always a plus for me. Last one I did for movie I did from her was I think it was Species. Yeah, because I did Species and the whole 9 yards and the whole 10 yards. Last year I did whole 9 yards. This year I did all 10 yards. Yeah, gorgeous Canadian woman. She could have been Captain Marvel if they cast her in the 90s or the early 2000s. Would have been a great Captain Marvel. But we got Brie, and I'm very happy about that. At least we got a female. And people are going to laugh at me because I'm going to bring my Captain Marvel to Comic Con to when I see the Marvels next year. I have nothing to be ashamed of, guys. I love Brie as that character, so I'm going to take her with me. So I have a piece of her with me that I can still I can be like, oh, you're such a darling girl. And I'll probably get Iman's Miss Marvel action figure and also Tiana Paris's Photon, Monica Rambeau. And this movie doesn't have a downbeat ending or a twist or anything like that. Sometimes these movies have a twist that's stupid, like Hereditary. They said the movie's ending ruined the film for a lot of people. This is the way. I hear you. Did they make copies of all these people? We're getting to the end of the movie. We got like about 4 minutes left. Not every movie I do a podcast for is going to be 2 hours. Sometimes it's going to be an hour and 20 minutes. That's good enough. At least it's longer than the shortest podcast I've ever done was 20 minutes for, like episodes of Full House, pretty much, or a short film or something like that. At least they let the humans go. If these were the aliens from Men in Black or Independence Day, they'd be obliterated. Yeah, it is short, but I wanted to do something short because The Fly 2 was almost an hour and 45 minutes. And, my knees start to hurt after like 2 hours of sitting on my bed. There's a guy again. Watch it, Ellen. You don't want to fall in the pit. That's a long drop. Food, folks, and fun. Food, folks, and fun. We're on our way to McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. Yeah, I remember that commercial when I was a kid in the 90s. Just loved it, man. Yep, he's going to blow it up. Burn it down. Yeah. Yeah, we're almost done. You saw that all of these guys have hats. Yeah, I noticed, like miners. The Bride of Frankenstein is a classic. It's a classic sequel to the original Frankenstein from the 1930s. Goodbye, them. That's their spaceship flying away. It's like the ending of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, except people were not, were less upset because with that movie they were so upset about. Oh my God, the Indiana Jones fought aliens. I'm like, it was the 50s, guys. This is a 50s movie. It was big in the 50s. Television and science fiction movies, no matter what genre, sci-fi action or sci-fi drama or sci-fi horror, it was the biggest thing in the 50s. No. No. Definitely. They always come back in every sci-fi media. So that was It Came from Outer Space. A fun movie. 3. If you guys haven't seen it, you can stream it. If you have Peacock, Premium, you'll be able to watch it. This is as John Putnam. See a little sim. Wait, Barbara Rush is Ellen. Yeah. I love that you're still alive. Hang in there, Barbara. Charles Drake as a sheriff. Yeah, good actor, but wasted. Joe Sawyer as Frank. Russell Johnson as George. Yeah, good performance before he was a comedic actor. Kathleen Hughes as Jane. She has like 3 lines, but you remember her look. Ray Bradbury did the story. Yeah, he's a sci-fi writer. Still a classic, man. Movies like this, they don't make them anymore. Now they have to be 3 hours long and have blue cats, but it is what it is. Let me just unplug this. An hour and 21 minutes. Yeah, produced by William Adland and directed by Jack Arnold. And we're done. There we go. That was it. Came from Outer Space. I'm glad to see it again. It's still a classic, and it's still a movie you guys should watch. Even though it's black and white, it's very short, so it's not going to cost you a lot of time. Nowadays, movies are just way too long. Some of them are just too long. Black Adam was not one of them. It felt pretty short, considered the DC movie, and it was shorter than the Batman and the Snyder Cut and all that, which is respectable because sometimes you don't need the over long running time. It just makes me watch the clock, and I'm like, please just end already. Anyway, that's it. Came from Outer Space. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. And tomorrow I'll be doing Monster House 2006. So stay tuned for more content later.